Hello everyone and welcome. Make a cup of your favorite drink and get comfortable because this is a wonderful time for new stories from Yellowcat. Send your own stories in the comments below and maybe they'll be in our new video. What's the worst customer you've had in the food industry? A few years ago, I worked at a pizza place with a dine-in area, although I wasn't a waitress. I just took orders at the counter and brought out the food. One night, we had a group of 15 people come in as a party, and every single one of them was deaf. This particular group was the most obnoxious, self-entitled, rude crowd of people I have ever dealt with. They all acted as if they hated me from the moment they walked in the door, so that was awesome to start out with. Almost every single one of them was completely deaf, yet wanted to communicate their orders verbally. Now, I have nothing against that, but they would blatantly look away when I would try to repeat their order to make sure it was right, and they would send it back to the kitchen, blaming me for getting it wrong. Or if they did acknowledge me while they were ordering, they would get extremely frustrated while I was repeating the order as if I were mocking them in some way. Not only did they not tip, not terribly important considering I was paid hourly, but it's the norm for big groups, but the youngest of the group knocked over 2 cups of water as they were leaving and just looked at them while he was walking away, not a single F given. 4 out of the 15 had their meals comped for being incorrect, and the others just chose to make that night H for me. Having a disability isn't a get-out-of-jail-free card for being a D-bag. We had a waitress run into the kitchen bawling her eyes out. It took us a few minutes to find out what had happened from her. Apparently, a customer kept telling her son what he wanted, and the son would tell this waitress. When pressed by the waitress why he would not speak to her directly, he told her son to tell her, "I don't talk to N." We chased the effer out of the place, myself and 2 cooks. We wanted to roll him, but he was pretty quick. Just the other night, man, this happened to me. Some customer comes into the effing kitchen. Customers, don't ever go into a kitchen, it isn't cool. And starts yelling at the waitress, full on, no holds barred, yelling in her face. Him and his table full of other counts have all ordered spiced ribs, chalupa seafood baskets, T-bones, ribeyes. As a cook, the more advanced the meal, the more I love to cook it. You come into the restaurant and order the fanciest, most gourmet thing on the meal, and I love to do it. That's why I'm there. I like to hone my skills, and I like people to appreciate them. What you don't effing do is come into the kitchen mid-peak on a Saturday night because your food is 40 minutes late. There are 85 other people waiting to eat before you. You came out tonight to have a good time and eat. I get that. It's an S thing seeing other people get their food before you. I get that. They ordered an effing cheese dip, though, that we heat in the microwave, which costs $6. Sorry that it's easier to make than the high menu S you're ordering, you pea-sucking sacks of Fs. That is no reason to call a perfectly innocent teenage girl a stupid W in the highest, angriest voice you can muster. My chef, a typical alcoholic Gordon Ramsay type, effing flips his S and lobs a plate onto the floor, smashing it as ceramic shards and nacho remnants scatter and explode everywhere. He starts taking steps towards the guy. "Who do you think you are? This is my kitchen and we are making your food," going on and on. This angry DF of a guy has backed down, and the upstairs manager is coming downstairs scared out of his mind because no one wants to F with the chef. Me and him are in each other's good books, but he is one scary C. Because I'm male and punch-ups beat cooking, I start following behind him as he approaches the other dude. He very quietly sat back down and tipped generously apparently, which is awesome because I'm in Australia and you aren't even really supposed to tip here. I had a customer call the store claiming she had gone through the drive-thru earlier that day and asked for a large Coke with light ice. She told me there was definitely the normal amount of ice in this drink and she demanded a refund, a new Coke, and a milkshake for her inconvenience. I was speechless. Other than this, I've been called racist multiple times by customers with complaints that I made their food wrong because I'm white. I'm a white manager with a mostly black crew. I typically point to the black cook, Floyd, and say, "No ma'am, that guy made your meal." Floyd just smiles and waves. I once had a family of 4 come in, a wife, husband, and 2 kids. The wife ordered a cheeseburger. Everything seemed to be going well. I asked if they liked their food and if there was anything I could get for them. They said everything was fine. The wife finished her burger and got my manager. She told her that the burger was absolutely horrible and wanted a refund for the whole meal. My manager almost laughed at her and told her if she hadn't finished the burger and had said something at the beginning, she would have gladly gotten her another burger, but there was no way she was getting a meal for 4 for free, nor was she getting hers for free because she, at first, told me she liked it. When I used to work at McDonald's, some lady came in and ordered a cheeseburger without cheese. So, being the person I am, I just put it in a hamburger wrapper and gave it to the front. Well, she came back like 5 minutes later and all H broke loose. She was yelling at the poor girl who gave her the sandwich, and the girl was new. So I went up to help and asked what was the matter. This is what she said. "I ordered a cheeseburger without cheese. You gave me a hamburger. I want what I ordered right now, and I want to speak to your manager." So I told her I was the manager. She proceeded to call me a liar, even though I had a name tag that said shift manager on it. But I told her I would fix it. I took the burger and put it in a cheeseburger wrapper and gave it back to her. She looked at it, then at me, and I'm pretty sure she had the realization of what a cheeseburger without cheese is. She then just walked away without thanking me or anything. Also, I sent the girl home since she was crying. When I worked at Dairy Queen, we had someone pull up at the drive-thru 2 minutes before close. The person orders about $50 worth of food from the brazier kitchen, in addition to about $25 worth of ice cream products. As the car pulls around to pay, it's one of the employees drunk off his A thinking this is all a big joke. Of course, he didn't decide to tell all of us working that it was a joke. So my nice clean kitchen was cooking up burgers, fries, and just about everything, and I end up throwing it away. Thankfully, the idiot was fired the next day. A couple orders food together. Man gets a plain hamburger and the female gets a hamburger ketchup only. They come back up together and the man says he ordered it plain but got ketchup, and the girl says she wanted ketchup but got a hamburger plain. I still don't know if they were trolling, but all I could do was gesture for them to switch hamburgers as I was dumbfounded. While I worked in an all-you-can-eat restaurant, we frequently got customers who would eat, say, 3 or 4 plates of food, then go and fill up another 5, leave them all full on the table, and claim the food was all disgusting and refuse to pay. There was one time in particular when a couple tried to do this, the managers got involved and were refusing to let the customers leave whilst they called the police. The woman in the couple tried to push past one of my managers, and he took hold of her arm to stop her leaving. Cue shouts of assault and harassment, and male partner suddenly going ape-ass shouting, "Don't you effing touch my woman," etc. Luckily, there was a full restaurant of people who were watching the show, so they couldn't get away with it. D-bags. I waitressed in high school. This happened when I was 16 or 17. A guy came in to eat with his family, a little girl and his pregnant wife. They were really friendly, and at first, I thought it was a great table. The wife went to the bathroom and the guy asked for the check, and on the check, he wrote his phone number in the tip area along with "Call me, baby." I ran his card, waited until his wife came back, and brought over the guy's card and his receipt. I handed the receipt to the pregnant woman and told her something was wrong with the tip. She got super upset, and I got in a lot of trouble with my managers for stirring S. Like, in retrospect, I probably didn't handle that the best way, but at the same time, I was effing furious that some guy would come to eat with his pregnant wife. They were both wearing wedding bands, acting coupley, 99% positive they were married, pretty much 100% confirmed when I gave the wife the receipt with the guy's tip on it, and tried to hit on a girl half his age. WTF? WTF? If he's pulling that S so brazenly, God knows what else he's doing behind his wife's back. I worked as a server at an organic restaurant. We were known for being vegan-friendly, wheat-free, and willing to accommodate individuals' special dietary needs. One day, a man and his family came in for dinner. He came up to the counter to order, and he told me he had a few allergies. I told him that was fine because we're used to accommodating allergies. Then I asked him what he was allergic to. "You might want to grab a pen," was his response. This man was allergic to 11 major food groupings, including all peanuts, tree nuts, and pine nuts, all shellfish and seafood, dairy, lentils, and peas, as well as wheat. I couldn't believe it. I grabbed the cook from the kitchen and brought him out to talk to the customer because I didn't even know what to offer him. I understand that allergies suck, but cross-contamination is so common in restaurants that someone whose life could be threatened by a number of common foods should maybe stay in to eat. The story ends as the customer orders and eats steak and cooked quinoa. I stood within arm's reach of the phone his entire stay, just in case I had to call emergency services. I worked at a soup and sandwich cafe for 3 years while I was in undergrad. Good job, easy money. Anyways, we offered quick breakfast options, bagels and cream cheese, breakfast sandwiches and burritos, and a quick 2-egg breakfast with toast, hash browns, or grits, etc. We offered a $1 small cup of coffee because Starbucks was 2 blocks down and my manager was like that. We broke even on the coffee, not really hoping to profit, just trying to get people in the door and serve quick, good food. That kind of place. A super yoga soccer mom started coming in every morning to buy a coffee. She would bring in her own bagel and her own cream cheese. She would purchase the coffee and then ask us to toast her bagel and put her cream cheese on it for her, and expect us to run the food out to her like we did for every other paying customer. While she was purchasing her coffee, she would ask that we put on new gloves while preparing her food. Okay, fine. Not a big deal the first few times because the owner, a working manager, was trying to keep his customers happy all of the time. However, this budding new cafe was starting to increase in business exponentially. This bagel lady started coming in every single day. The boss grew a little tired of her request because, after all, he isn't seeing the benefit of selling her a $1 cup of coffee and having us prepare her food for her. She didn't tip either, however, because my boss always lived by the customer's always right method. He did this. She came in on a Saturday morning once, thinking she got special treatment because she was a regular customer. She decided she would skip the line and put her bagel on the counter near the register. She waited in line, purchased her $1 coffee, and noticed her bagel was right where she left it, untouched. "Excuse me, I expected this to be toasted and ready when I purchased my coffee. I come in all of the time. You should know me by now. I am one of your most frequent customers." "Yes, ma'am, I apologize. I did not see it. Here's your coffee, and I'll bring it out to you in a moment." I just don't understand you people sometimes. So incompetent and rude to your customers. This is the kind of behavior that leads to disease and sickness in restaurants. I didn't realize my boss was standing over my shoulder during this encounter. He sort of pushes me out of the way, grabs her bagel, ungloved hands, takes a bite, goes to hand it to her, drops it, and asks her to leave with a mouthful of bagel. He goes to his office and closes his door, still chewing the bagel. He comes out and says coffee is now $2. Problem solved. Thank you for watching. Guys, thank you for all the support and the likes. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. See you next time.